Hey guys, so I'm really bored and I decided to come on here and record another yap session because I've got nothing better to do. I have actually got nothing better to do with my life, okay? Judge me if you want. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I am slightly losing my mind. Like, I'm going a bit crazy sitting at home. I don't know what I was thinking. It was funny. It was very funny at the beginning and I was like, you know what, this is kind of nice. And then I was doing the laundry today and I was like, what has my life become? Like, I'm living my biggest fear. Like, I'm in my 20s. They're probably the hottest years of my life. This is probably the best I'll ever look. And I'm wasting away in the Irish countryside. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about relationships because I think a lot. Honestly, growing up my whole life, like, I've never wanted a boyfriend. I was never one of those girls that, like, imagined my wedding and had my whole life planned out. Like, I'm gonna have this many kids and I'm gonna get married by this and this age and I'm gonna find my boyfriend in college, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, some girls, like, they've got it all planned out. And, like, I was never really done dirty because I never cared enough. Even if, say, I was into a boy and I was seeing him, I never really gave a fuck about what he would do. And if I did, it was very surface level. Like, my ego would get hurt, but I wasn't actually hurt. And here's the thing, if you're really, really desperate to get a guy, they can smell that shit off you. So many of my friends, or even me, like, I'm in a relationship now, when I wasn't looking for a boy, like, when I was like, I don't want to ever talk to any man again, like, I am just gonna focus on me, I'm gonna lock in for college, it is what it is, that's when, like, you find the person you're meant to be with. And I don't know how the fuck it works, I don't know how it works, but even, like, my friends, like, my friend recently got out of, like, a 3-year relationship and she was like, I do not want to speak to anybody, like, I need to heal, I need to get over this, and then boom, like, an amazing man that is everything that boy wasn't for 3 years just comes along. Honestly, like, if you're stuck in this rut of thinking like, oh, I really want to be in a relationship, all my friends in relationships, it would be nice to have someone to cuddle with. Much more important that instead of focusing your efforts on getting a boyfriend, you focus on your efforts on, like, maintaining good friendships, like having friends. Because you know the whole thing that people are saying nowadays where it's like, your friends are going to be at your wedding, the boy you're with right now might not be. A lot of times girls will be so desperate to get a boy and they'll get him and they'll be like, you know what, my problems are all solved, I have this boyfriend, it's all gonna, like, life is gonna be amazing now. And then the relationship goes to shit like a few months later, and that's purely because, like, you did no work on yourself, you don't know what you want to do in life, you don't have any friends, and all you want is a boyfriend that probably doesn't give a fuck about you because he sees how unhappy you actually are within yourself. You shouldn't depend on a boy to make you happy, or her, a girl, I don't know, whatever you're into. You should be happy and content within yourself before you go out there seeking a relationship, because it is so unfair to the person that you are with or you are after to have to fulfill you and to make you happy, and to place that burden on them of, like, no, you need to be my main source of happiness, you need to make me happy. And, like, the thing in relationships, like, you're not always going to be happy 24/7. Like, there's going to be shit, there's going to be fights, there's going to be arguments, and you're going to have to get over it. And if you're unhappy and then the person that you're with making you also unhappy because shit happens, it's not gonna work. It's never gonna work. So before you go out there looking for a relationship and trying to place this burden on the other person of, like, you need to make me happy, you need to make me fulfilled, make sure that you work on yourself. If you don't feel good about yourself, say you're insecure, and then you get into a relationship, that's gonna make it 10 times worse. Like, a million times worse. And I say this from experience. Like, everything that person does is probably going to make you insecure after. I've had friends where they feel so insecure and their boyfriend's out in a bar, just like with his friends, and they're, like, freaking out. They're going on the bar's Instagram and looking at the people there, like, they're going crazy. Your mental health is gonna get so much worse if you don't feel secure before you get into a relationship. And it's not to say that it's necessarily the person that you're with, like, that's the problem. It's you. Like, you're the issue because you don't love yourself. And also, like, how can you expect somebody else to love you if you don't love yourself? And I'm not saying, like, that you're not worthy of love or anything if you don't love yourself. Sure you are, and the person that you're with should be the person that comforts you, that uplifts you, that makes you feel better about yourself. But if you really don't love yourself or the person that you are, there is nothing that person can say or do. There is no amount of compliments that that person can give you to fill that hole inside of you. Go out, meet people, make friends. Most importantly, work on yourself. Find out what you like, find out what you don't like. Voice what you're okay with, voice what you're not okay with. Set boundaries in your relationships. Respect yourself, learn to speak up for yourself. Know when to say enough is enough. And the thing is, if you don't love yourself, the person that you are with will never be able to fill that hole within you, because it has to come from you. If you're unhappy in all of your relationships, you need to look at yourself at a certain point and be like, what am I missing? What am I not giving myself? Why do I not love myself? Why do I not feel good about myself? And really, really work on that. Go out, get hobbies, get a life, get friends. Like, I feel like it happens a lot, especially with younger people. You know, when you're like 15, 16, 17, whatever, and you get into these relationships and you don't even know who you are as a person. And a lot of the times, like, there's like, I know couples that have been together since they were like 16, and then they get to 20 and they break up. Like, you didn't even know who the fuck you were, what the fuck you liked, and what you wanted from life. And then you got into this relationship with a person that also didn't know who they were and also didn't know what they wanted in their life. And now you both feel like shit, and it feels like you lost the love of your life or whatever. Like, no, they were probably never the love of your life. They didn't even know themselves. And I know there's some like people where that works out, and sure, that's great if you can really grow and learn together, but in most cases it doesn't. So if you're like 16, I don't know, take some dance classes, read some books. You don't need a boyfriend. There's so many relationships where the two people get together and they have kids, and they're bound by these kids, they live a happy marriage, and then they get to like 50, 60 and they break up. Before they got into a relationship, they didn't really know what they wanted. And then these kids came about and they're like, well now I'm consumed with the kids. And then they're gone. And they're like, wait, who am I? What do I want from life? What do I need from my partner? What do I need from myself? And then they only figure that out once they're 60, and they're like, you know what, I don't want to be with this person. It kind of goes back to the whole, like, it's really important to have a group of friends and to have a support system. You really, really need to build a support system in your life, because if you don't have that and shit hits the fan, you can't just rely on the one person that is your partner to fix everything, because a lot of the times it's unfair to them and it's unfair to yourself. Like 16, you've just broken up with your husband, well, divorced your husband. You're gonna go to your friends, you're gonna go to your family, you're gonna go to the people that love and support you. And also, there's so many girls my age that sit at their phones all day, refreshing their screen, waiting for a boy to reply. And that boy is probably talking to like a bunch of other girls. He's at soccer practice, he's at training. I don't know what the fuck he's doing, okay? But he clearly has better things to do than to reply to you. And honestly, to that I say, if he wanted to, he would. If he wanted to talk to you, he would talk to you. If he wanted to reply to you, he would reply to you. So many of my friends would ask me, they'd be like, how do I get a boy to like talk to me? How do I get a boy to reply to me fast? Blah, blah. You can't do anything. He just has to like you for the person that you are. And if there's nothing to you because you just place your whole value on men and getting them to like you, or girls, there's nothing to you. So what is he supposed to like? The personality that you put on just for him to like? That's not gonna work. And even if it does, it's not gonna work in the long run. And sooner or later, you're gonna be like, wait, this isn't really me. Like, why am I pretending to be someone I'm not? He doesn't even really love me. He loves the fake person that I'm pretending to be. If a boy actually liked you, you would know. If you're confused, if you're like, oh my god, he's not replying to me, I've been undelivered for 6 hours and I see that he's online, he doesn't like you. He's talking to someone else. The attention that he isn't giving you, he is giving someone else. That's why you need to get a life and get some friends, so that you're not sitting at home refreshing your phone. I heard this somewhere and I don't remember where, so I can't give credit, but if anybody finds it, please let me know. It's like, your life is a puzzle. And there's different parts that make up the puzzle, you know, your hobbies, your interests, your work, and then there's your family, and then there's a person that you're with. And they make up a big chunk of the puzzle. And you don't want to get to the end of your life and look at your puzzle and realize that there's a cunt in the middle of it. You don't want the person that you're with to be an absolute dickhead and take up half of your life. So really and truly, if that boy is not, or girl is not replying to you, if they're not bothered to even send you a little text saying, hey, they're not for you, they're not meant for you, and it's probably for the better. And the more you force something, the worse it will be, because it's not meant to be in your life, and it's going to keep pushing against the grain until it eventually ends. The person that's meant for you isn't going to leave you undelivered, isn't going to make you feel like shit, isn't going to make you sit in your room crying. The person that you're meant to be with is going to make you happy. Especially, like, as women, we're very intuitive. We kind of know if something isn't working, if it's not sitting right. We know how it's making us feel. You know how you feel about something. And if you feel bad about it, and you feel bad about the relationship that you're in, or the person that you're talking to, they're not meant for you. You know, what's more important than being in a relationship is loving yourself. Valuing yourself, knowing what you like, knowing what you don't like, having interests, having friends, having good relationships with your family. Your life isn't just one person. A person is a chunk of it, but there's other aspects that make it up. If you just focus all your effort on being in a relationship, you're going to be so disappointed with your life, and you're going to feel unfulfilled. And that goes back to like the people that are like 60 and then end up getting divorced, because they place their whole value on just this one piece of the puzzle. And then they forget about the rest. And then when shit hits the fan and the kids leave the nest and they're stuck with this person, they're like, wait, I don't even like you. And I don't even know what I like. Stay hydrated. Oh my god, there's my neighbor looking at me. Some people have an addiction to being in a relationship. Stop waiting on them to reply. You need to get out of your room, get out of this rut, go and live your life. If you're young, like, these are the hottest years of your life, and you're rotting in your room, crying about a stinky boy that you probably won't remember 10 years down the line. So don't place all the value on someone else, because you're the most valuable person in your life, and not in like a selfish way or in a conceited way. You need to be good in order to have someone else and be happy with them. You know, even when you're in an airplane, they tell you to put the mask on yourself first before you care for someone else. That you're able to love them, so that you're able to be the person for them, so that you're able to be there through their hard times. If you don't love yourself, if you're unhappy with your life, if you're unhappy with yourself, you will not be able to be the best partner that the other person deserves. And also, if he wanted to, he would. If he wanted to see you, he would. If he wanted to text you back, he would. If he wanted to buy you flowers, he would. If he's not doing that, he's not for you. If you expect the person you were to do that and he's not living up to whatever expectations you have, they're not for you. You will find the person you're meant to be with. They will fit into your life like a puzzle piece, and it'll be perfect and you'll be happy. Don't be desperate, and don't cling on to people that aren't meant to be in your life, because it's going to end in disaster. Because what's not meant for you is not fucking meant for you. So leave it alone before you fuck up your own life trying to fit a piece of the puzzle that does not go. So many good women that get stuck with horrible men in their lives just because they're afraid to let them go, and because they're afraid to be alone, because they don't have a fucking life. Because they've got nothing for themselves. They don't have good friends. They don't have good families. They never care to foster good relationships with people in their life. So they place all the value on one person, and they're never going to be able to fill that, ever. So focus on yourself and make sure that you're good and that you're happy. You are worth so much. You are an amazing person. You've got so much love to give. And when the right person comes around, you will give it to them. But you have to love yourself first. And you can't expect someone else to fill a hole within you that only you can fill. Anyways, that's pretty much all I've got for you guys today. I'm done yapping for the day. Now I'm just gonna sit and watch Desperate Housewives. Such a good show, by the way. Oh my fucking god, 10 out of 10 would recommend. I love you all so much, pookies, and I will see you next time on another one of my yap sessions. Bye!